I'm talking today to Dr. Ariane Utomo from the University of Melbourne, who's the lead researcher for Activity 2. So Ariane, could you just give us a brief overview of your activity?
Yeah, so Activity 2 primarily consists of two elements of data collection. The first one is the village mapping exercise and the household census across 8 villages in northwest Cambodia in Battambang and Pailin. So this is our first in-country data collection actually in the project, and those two activities are guided by 4 broad objectives. The first one is to gain a broader understanding of the socio-economic and the geographic context of rural livelihoods and agricultural extension in our study site. And the second one is to help us identify the variations of different farming systems across the diverse landscapes, so highland, lowland, in Battambang and Pailin. And the third one is to help us paint a picture of the diversity of livelihood strategies employed by smallholder households in the study sites. And finally, but not the least important, is to provide some sort of baseline and sampling frame for the subsequent data collections in Activity 3, 4, 5, and so on in our project. Yeah, so that's Activity 2.
And what phase is your activity at the moment?
So we have completed the data collection for Activity 2. Yay! I had the privilege of visiting Battambang and work with our local research team in July last year. So we started data collection for the household census in July last year, and it's completed in January of this year. And after that, of course, we had quite a longish process of data collection, and at the moment we're analyzing the census data. So we've collected data from 2,500 farmer households in 5 communes. So in Chetil, Kampung Prieng, Tasan, Ottawao, and Stenkaj. I'm still trying to learn the name.
Well, that's great.
Super thankful, particularly to our local research assistants who are leading the data collection for the census.
Wow, that's great. And what have you learned from the project over the last 12 months that's influencing your activity at the moment?
Yeah, I learned a lot. This is the first time that I have the chance to work in Cambodia. I learned a lot, and it wasn't just a different research site, but it's also the first time that I'm doing like a large-scale data collection during a pandemic. I mean, we're still in the middle of the pandemic, and I learned so much, particularly on the importance of trying to come up with different strategies to work with a research team who are pretty much scattered in different places. I mean, we started this project under lockdown pretty much, and I really value the collaboration and the learning from each other process. During my visit in Battambang, I had the chance of working closely with our research assistants. So we have 8 research assistants, research officers rather, in our team, and these are brilliant young graduate from the area. So we have Lita, we have Sarut, Sofia, Charia, so 4 girls. And we also have Sinun, Perom, Bunarat, and Asao. And during my visit, I kind of thought about what is it that I could do to continue, working as a team quite closely, not just through, those intermittent visits to the country. So what we started doing was following the training in July and initial stage of data collection. I went back to Melbourne because I had to work at the university, but we held regular Zoom meetings every fortnight. And it wasn't just any Zoom meeting, we had a particular process of having the Zoom discussion facilitated by an image discussion. So every fortnight, each of the research officer would share a picture that they have taken themselves of their choice, and it could be any aspect of the research. And we learned so much through that process, and how important it is, I guess, to kind of complement the quantitative aspects of the data collection, the numbers that we get from the census, with insights that are captured and elaborated through the photo diary online workshops. So I'm really thankful that that happened, and I guess without COVID-19 we probably wouldn't have engaged in these additional activities beyond what was initially planned when we put together the proposal for activity 2.
Really interesting. And what are you planning for the next 12 months with your activity?
Oh my gosh, I have to prepare a report, so analyze the data, work with other activity leaders to finalize the, I guess, a descriptive report, but also we do have some publication pipeline stemming from data collected in activity 2, and perhaps also a methods paper about the photo diary, and combining this kind of methods with other more conventional methods of data collection. And hopefully this output will be co-produced with our research offices in Cambodia. So I'm hoping to continue working on that, but I'm really relieved that my responsibility in the data collection aspect is yay!
And finally, could you just tell us a little bit what you're hoping to find out from the household census and the village mapping?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I guess the other activity leaders are quite keen because they're waiting for our initial analysis to help them with the, I guess, implementation of their activity. So I'm not hoping, because it's already there. There's a sampling frame for us to work with, you know, the sampling of, for example, activity farmers mapping exercise. Is that what we're calling activity 3?
Activity 3,
Yeah. So that's one thing. But in terms of the analysis from the household census data, one of the things that we are currently still working on is to come up with some sort of household typologies. So out of the 2,500 household, we are trying to kind of find or identify broad categories of different smallholder household, and we try to group them based on I guess a set of characteristics. This might include their farming practice, but also other demographic and socioeconomic characteristics of the households in question. So it's not just rice producing versus cassava producing versus primarily fruit producing households. So we want to kind of be able to combine all these different sets of both agriculture and non-agricultural characteristics and produce some sort of typologies, accounting, for example, the household composition, who lives in the household, how old are the people living in the household, how are they related to one another, how dependent are they on other sources of non-agriculture income like migration and remittances. So I guess we're very excited to see what comes up from that analysis.
Really valuable, those typologies.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for your time today, Ariane, for taking the time to talk with us.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks.